Silverstone Books presents the world's first audio manga, Harmonics, Rise of the Magician. Written by Colin Earl and Chris Snelgrove. Music by The Epilogues. Hear more great tracks at theepilogues.com. Can't wait week to week for your fix? Harmonics is also available as an ebook, and the paperback edition is chock full of extra chapters, exclusive content, and the entire first episode of Season 2. Visit ColinEarl.com to get it and to find news, updates, and more insane stories. Crossing synapses, confusing all I know. Lady in the Lake. Scene: Academy City 676. Time: current day, early morning. Okay, you need to focus. I know you don't want to, but you just need to do it if you want to pass. Sam took a breath and started to read, but almost tripped as she did. She hated walking to school. It wasn't that she didn't like school. School was just fine. It wasn't that she disliked walking either. In fact, she rather enjoyed walking. What she didn't like was walking to school while attempting to finish an essay for her stupid critical writing class. That was really annoying. And of course, the dumb essay was due on the very day she was going to meet Richard to... Focus, Samantha! Sam refocused her attention, locking on to the holographic screen projection a few feet in front of her, trying to find the place where she had left off. Decades after the recession of the early 21st century, the difference between the exceedingly poor and ridiculously rich was so great the world entered a post-industrialization feudal age. Now, the rich are disgustingly rich, and the poor have become the exclusive and sole responsibility of the government. Sam stopped, making a mental note. She needed less personality in her writing, less of the incendiary adjectives. She could almost smell the attitude. Sam continued to read. The transformation of the world economy occurred after World War III broke out. The war started when extremists in the Central Eastern countries, or modern-day New Necromany, attacked their longtime Zionist rivals, or modern-day Esai. The war lasted 10 years, eventually engulfing all the major world players, and exacted a cost of over 3 billion lives and 40% of the livable land in the world. The end of the war brought the rise of two new superpowers, the United Western Collective, or the super government made up of the old United States of America, Canada, Mexico, and South and Central America, and the Jade Empire, made up of the old European Union states and many Asian countries. The next 50 years produced a Cold War like the people of Earth had never seen, creating a landscape where the rich got richer and the poor were taken care of by the newly established conglomerate governments. Now, there are very few in-betweeners, or people of the middle class. Not to say that they are totally gone. The rich would never let that happen, as there has to be someone that buffers the poor from the rich in the world. In my town, that is where Partial Palace comes in. Partial Palace is where I live, and I believe it should be dismantled as a matter of public policy. Sam shook her head. She had slipped into the first person again. She hated when she did that. Thousands of other communities like Partial Palace can be found in every town in the United Western Collective. My community is located in the middle of T-Tracks in Academy City 676 in the state of Bush. Sam stared at the passage. There was more to this place, a more expressive description, a deeper and livelier introduction, but really it was more or less the same as most other UWC towns. Further description probably wasn't needed. It would just create unnecessary clutter. Sam took her finger and with a few quick strikes she erased the last sentence. Miss Diablo wasn't going to like that description. It was just too boring. Sam would have to change that later. The T-tracks aren't really tracks as their name suggests. There might have been real tracks on this particular stretch of land at some point, but ever since the advent of cellular biofuel and cold fusion transport, the bullet trains of the 22nd century were bound to fail. Now, where 150 years ago a train might have once traveled, there is a park that would embarrass the old United States National Park, Yellowstone. The park is complete with a lake as deep and blue as a ship-sinking glacier, and hybrid trees tens of years old shadow the vast expanse of lush grass, flowers, and other vegetation. Beauty came at a price, however. In truth, this park that the townsfolk call T-Tracks has a single purpose. It divides the high part of town from the low part, high tracks and low tracks, or the really rich and the quite poor. In all actuality, T-Tracks acts like a barrier to any who might venture out of their station. The park thus becomes a scene of serenity, but also a symbol of division. Sam highlighted this sentence. She liked that one. It had some great imagery. The T-Tracks and other landmarks like it are not out of the ordinary in government cities like this one. In fact, it is not that much different from every other Academy city in the collective. This similarity comes from their purpose of policing mandatory education from 6 to 18 years of age throughout the Western collective. Sam made another note. She needed to add United before Western collective. This Academy city, which like most Academy cities is about 85% students, holds one major difference. The preconceived roles of the rich class and the poor class are less embraced among the student body. In a sharp contrast, other Academy cities across the Great Collective have socio-economic strife, fighting within their student population. But here in Academy City 676, it isn't all that bad being poor. The government pays for just about everything from healthcare, school, food, housing, and even entertainment. Practically name it, and the government takes care of it. While everything isn't roses and butterflies, for the most part, the residents of Academy City 676 have their needs met. This, in my opinion, is probably the reason that people here are a bit more accepting of the post-war feudal system. The aftermath of the war created needs, not wants. People needed for so long they forgot how to want. Now, though it's been years since the end of the war, the residents of the world, excluding a select few, still haven't remembered how to want, and in my opinion, that is where the problem is found. In Academy City 676, your social position or socioeconomic status, whether you're from high tracks or low tracks, determines everything about a person. What classes they take, who they sit at the lunch table with, the people who they talk to, everything. It is for this reason that living in Partial Palace leaves uncertainty where conformity should have resided. And, as anyone from Partial knows all too well, there are few things worse than uncertainty. Being from Partial makes me very uncertain, as I have no real place where I belong. I'm not accepted by either the high or low tracks crowds. There's just me. Sam reread the paper, fixing the punctuation as she did. She would probably have to change that last portion. It sounded sort of whiny. She took a deep, cleansing breath as she walked artfully through rays of early morning light. Sam could already see the revisions she would make later. She was never very good at these writing assignments. That was why she had to. Her concentration broke as a buzzing scream rent the peace of the morning, splintering the calm in a stab of pitching noise. The abrupt change stopped Sam dead in her tracks, her adrenaline heightening her senses. She spun on her heels, searching for the source of the noise, the scream fading in and out, going quiet and loud, over and over again, until any semblance of rational thought felt like a distant memory. The sound burned with fire, skimming the surface of her brain and scorching her peace. Sam tuned into the burn as words, some jumbled and confused, others twisting in somewhat coherent patterns, jumped to the forefront of her thoughts while strange companion emotions pushed at her own emotional core. Sam's eyes went blurry as a tingling sensation took over. Her vision grew dark. Then blackness closed in until... The nip of the breeze startled her. Her eyelids fluttered and scanned her surroundings, taking in the light of the yawning sun and the shadow of springtime trees. Nothing seemed out of place, not a single indication of what had just happened, or why. Sam paused in her contemplation and whispered to herself just to make sure she wasn't dreaming. What on earth was that? What just happened? Sam tried to collect her thoughts, but the phrase, "What was that weird noise?" kept running laps around the track of her mind. It was all so fuzzy. She grasped at a thing, something. She wasn't even sure what it was. For some odd reason, she couldn't seem to remember. "Hey, Sam, snap out of it!" Sam whipped on her heel, going for the gas blaster on her home keychain. "Whoa," said a cute Latina girl with crunchy brown hair. "I am so going to sue you if you gas blast me." Sam's finger relaxed off the button as she slackened her grip. "Oh, Cammie, it's only you." She gave Cammie a small shove. "Why were you yelling at me like that? You scared the church out of me." "The church out of you?" Cammie grinned thoughtfully. "Maybe I should scare you more often. I could use more church in my life." "You mean more morality." Cammie shrugged. "Don't get so, wrapped up in the details, Sam. Besides, you are in no place to talk about morals. Hello? You totally almost gas blasted me. Me, your best friend. Do you have any idea how bad that stuff is for your skin?" Sam put her fingers to the bridge of her nose, squeezing the pressure point located there. "So, let me get this straight. I almost gas blast you and you're worried about whether it negatively affects your skin?" Cammie nodded vigorously. "Love is a battlefield, Sam. Don't ever forget it." Sam paused. What are you talking about? Wait, never mind. I don't really want to know. Back to the gas blast. How would you know what it's like to be gas blasted? This doesn't have something to do with your restraining order, does it? Cammie scowled. You set one tree on fire because a boy breaks up with you and you're branded for life. Sam laughed. You're lucky all you got was probation. Cammie sighed dramatically. No one understands me. Sam placed her hand on Cammie's shoulder. It's rough being you, isn't it? Of course. Being a diva is tough stuff. Okay, sidebar conversation. Sam rolled her eyes. She hated it when Cammie called a sidebar conversation. It usually meant that she was about to go off. Samantha, OMGWB, what are you wearing? I thought we talked about this. No more frumpy jeans and formless shirts. What happened to the liquid light sundress I gave you? At this, Cammie rolled the hem of her own strategically placed skirt. Cammie wasn't the cutest girl on the planet, but she made up for it with sense and style. She could dress for her body type like no other person Sam knew. Cammie, I've explained this a half a dozen times to you already. Samantha? Sam pointed at herself. Isn't like that. Those sort of threads don't look good on me. They just aren't me. The two boys staring at you with stalker eyes on Friday seem to indicate otherwise. Besides, that red high-cut JD & Kuju was a hot little number. Even the store manager was gawking, and I'm pretty sure he's gay. Sam rolled her eyes. He's not gay, Cammie. Just really happy. I wasn't aware there was a difference. Cammie dipped her head, leveling her gaze at Sam's chest. Sam, you're trying to be more feminine, remember? Well, at least you're wearing a bra today. Cammie reached out and gave Sam a squeeze before she could react. Sam squealed in surprise, slapping Cammie's hand as her face flushed scarlet. Sam glared with her arms crossed across her chest. Pervert? Cammie grinned. Well, if the shoe fits, then buy the whole store. You sure are pissy today. Is it that time of the month? Yes, the time of the month where I need a new best girlfriend. Cammie looked at her, scandalized. I thought I was your best friend. Oh, don't tell me that Dick beat me out. Don't call him Dick. And yes, he did beat you out, because he doesn't fashion grope me on a regular basis. Cammie's expression soured. Only because he doesn't have the guts to. Cammie, you're impossible. A squelching noise, like the sound a cat might make if it was drowning, reoriented Sam's thoughts. That weird noise that had assaulted her. She'd been trying to figure out where it had come from. She leveled a beady eye toward Cammie, who was busy entering her VSpace page. Sam spoke quickly, knowing that the social site would completely destroy any chance she might have to talk to her friend. Well, face to face at least. Moving on from Richard, why haven't you said anything about that screeching noise a few minutes ago? It's not like you to just ignore unexplained phenomenon like that. It might have been aliens, you know. Ha, Sam. Everyone knows that aliens only attack at night and they don't scream. Nice try. If you're gonna make fun of me, at least to make a bit more Ashley, oh my GWB, I can't believe he asked you. Sam stopped listening. Cammie was in V-Space now. She was gone for the time being, causing their walk to come to a dead stop. Stupid social cloud, what a waste of time, thought Sam as she looked out over the water, watching the waves ripple. She sighed heavily. Richard, where are you when I need you? A glare from the direction of the water caused her to avert her gaze. A somewhat unnatural shine seemed to move with her. The light, which was of a curiously soft nature, deteriorated immediately, leaving only a glowing trail. Sam stepped away from Cammie, venturing towards the edge of the lake. A few feet from the bank, settled low in the clear water, sat a shimmering metal box. Sam studied the box from the shore. Now, what on earth are you? She said, squinting, in an attempt to make out the box. A few minutes passed in idle contemplation until Sam made a decision. Alrighty then, she said, speaking aloud. Into the water we go. Sam removed her shoes and socks, pulled her handcuffs as high as they would bunch, and then moved cautiously into the water. She neared her target, the water coming up much higher than she had originally anticipated. The box was right in front of her, but she didn't know if she wanted to spend the rest of the day drenched. A brief spell of calm momentarily gave Sam an unimpeded view of the box. She again considered her options. You're already here, she thought. Might as well. Sam leaned over into the water and barely made contact when, Sam, what on earth are you doing? The call startled her, and without further preamble, Sam slipped and... splash! Sam, now completely wet, came up out of the water, holding the box in her hand. Sam, are you okay? Cammie came rushing to her side, barely able to control her laughter as Sam stomped onto the grassy marsh. Why on earth did you go into the lake? Sam shook her mane of matted hair and held up the box. Wanted to see what this was. Cammie laughed again. Nice, Sam. A tin box. How dumb can you be? Thanks a lot, Cammie. That was really sweet. Cammie's eyes went wide and innocent. I'm pretty sure it's not my fault. You decided to go for a mid-morning swim. Cammie looked Sam up and down, lingering on her soppy clothes and waterlogged hair. Though, I have to admit, Sammy, I think it's an improvement. Sam scowled and pushed past Cammie, who scrambled after her. Hey, come on, Sam, it was just a joke, said Cammie, attempting to sound contrite. Sorta. Sam had already had enough of this day, and the stupid thing had barely started. Falling on her butt in the lake was a bad omen. She was going home to shower and hide under the covers. A whispered conversation directly behind her told Sam that even as Cammie was following her, she was back on V-Space. Oh, how Sam hated that. Samantha, called Cammie, sounding more than a little excited. Weren't you supposed to meet Dick this morning? Sam came to an abrupt halt, cursing her luck. Yeah, I'm supposed to be feeding the ducks with Richard. Crap, he's going to be so mad at me. I've got to get home and change. I don't think he's thinking about that right now, sweetie. Cammie tapped a couple of buttons on her screen. The display reacted, enlarging and reversing a vid for Sam to see. Sam put a weary hand to her forehead. Oh no, not again. She turned on her heel. Come on, Cammie, we have to stop this before someone gets hurt. Cammie rolled her eyes. What? Sam, do we really have to do this? Again? It's just a couple of pics and some vids, no big deal. If they get carried away, he could die, Cammie, screamed Sam as she turned and started to run in her soppy clothes. You're overreacting as usual, Sam. He'll be just fine. He always is. Cammie walked gingerly after her, mumbling in a low voice. And even if he did die, at least he wouldn't make you late all the time. I heard that, Cammie. Cammie cracked a smile. Why can you always hear me, Sam? She shrugged to herself, hurrying to catch up to Samantha. Harmonics, Rise of the Magician. Written by Colin Earle and Chris Snelgrove. Music by The Epilogues. Hear more great tracks, get concert dates, and buy Epilogues gear at theepilogues.com. Don't want to wait until the end? Be sure to check out ColinEarle.com for the ebook and paperback editions of Harmonics, packed with extra chapters, exclusive content, and the entire first episode of Season 2.
We hope you're enjoying this free serialized audiobook. If you like what you're hearing, please tell a friend. Better yet, tell a friend and leave a contribution for the book at podiobooks.com. At least 75% of your donation will go straight to the author or producer, so please, be generous. And thanks for listening.